Welcome back to the 10-minute sales talk video series. Today I want to talk to you about the sales process and why it works and why it won't work if you don't follow it the right way. So let's start right here. Everybody knows what this is. It's the timeline. But I want you to understand that this part right here represents the minute the customer steps on your lot. This is when they leave your lot, when they cross that curb. By the way, what do you think? Peaky Blinders hat? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? So they come on the lot, and at that time the customers are going through what's called the buyer's process, right? And what the buyer's process is, the customers have to like you. They have to like you, which means you have to have that good first impression. If they like you, they may listen to you. And that's very important, because if they listen to you, they can be honest with you. And if they listen to you, it's easier to get them to believe you. And if they believe you, they buy. Which is what we're here for in the first place, right? Is to get the customers to buy. Now, one thing I want you to think about is this like part right here. 71% of customers said they bought their car from their salesperson because they liked him or liked her. They trusted them. They respected them. So you don't think that this is important, getting them to like you? You're in the wrong business. Now, this is the buying process. The sales process is designed to take the customer through the buying process. So let's take a look at it. First thing I mentioned was that first impression, right? Their first impression. What are you doing when the customer pulls up on the lot? Are you in that huddle, in that research and development huddle? Are you that vulture that's just waiting to pounce on them? Are you running up to the car door? Or are you just standing back and just ignoring them? Either way, it's that first impression, and it only takes just a second for them to develop a first impression. And if it's not a good one, good luck getting any further with them. This is the time where we lose most of our customers. So we have got to develop a really good meet and greet. We can't be the same old, same old. We can't be the salesperson that they expected to see from down the street, the one they just left because they didn't like them. We can't walk out there with their hands held high, big old grin on their face with their mirrored sunglasses, white patent leather shoes, white patent leather belt, and how can I help you? And spit. Or flick your cigarette as you're walking up to them. No, you got to be a professional. You come up with a great meet and greet. Something different than they use down the street. We do the meet and greet. Very important. Probably the most important part of the sales process, because if you don't do this right, it's kind of hard to do the rest of the process correctly and get them to buy in. If we develop the meet and greet, we do that, and then what we have to do is we have to start building some rapport. Or as a friend of mine would say, report. So build some rapport. What does that mean? Right. Getting them to like us. Finding some kind of common ground. And when we're building their rapport, we also want to investigate their wants and needs. Okay? Now, we kind of weave those together. The building rapport and investigating. Because, if they like you, they're going to tell you a few things about what they're going to use it for. They're going to go to the lake. They're going to use this truck to pull that boat. Well, if you're a fisherman or you're a water skier, you can start getting them to talk a little bit more about that, because you know something about them. Right? You know something about fishing, something about water skiing, something about boats. So you can talk to them a little bit about that. After the rapport and investigate stage, which is what I call all this is the warm-up phase. This is where the customer is getting used to us and we're getting used to them. If we do that right, the next thing we do is we move over to our presentation and demo. I know it's getting a little crowded here. Your presentation demonstration. And when you're done with your demonstration, if you've done it right, you're moving inside and you're going to close. Now, sounds simple, right? A lot of us don't do this because we don't believe it works, and here's the reason it doesn't work. Our seasoned salespeople already have this figured out. They don't want to waste their time with all this stuff. They want to get from here and they want to get from there as quick as possible, and that's not the way to do it. So what our salespeople, seasoned salespeople, do now is they go from the greeting to the presentation demonstration, from the curb to the car. They ask the customer what vehicle they're here looking for, and they tell them it's a Ford F-150. So we take them right to the F-150, and we decide to do a product presentation, something that we don't need to do. We want to tell them everything we know about that F-150, when we should be telling them everything that's important to them on that F-150. So we go from the curb to the car, we give them the wrong presentation, wrong demonstration, and then they leave. Or if we do get them into the close, it's going to be like pulling teeth because they don't like us yet. Now, if you notice, if we do that, if we skip all this other stuff, what did we skip? What steps did we skip? Well, the report investigating. The report investigating is designed to get them to like us, right? 71% buy because they like us. Well, if we skip that, well, how are they going to buy from us? We just pretty much guarantee that most of them won't buy, and if they do, we're not making any money selling the car. So it doesn't make sense to skip all those other important steps that we don't think is important. So humor me for a second. This is why this works. If you meet the customer and you greet them properly and professionally, it brings their defenses down. You're not the salesperson that they expected. Because remember, the one thing that they are not looking forward to doing when they get here is they're working with a salesperson. They're a necessary evil. Right? They're anxious, they're excited, they're coming to get a new car, truck, or SUV, and they just have to get through that salesperson and hope that they find one that they can live with. So we don't want to do that. We want to greet them properly and professionally. Welcome to my dealership. My name is Terry, and you are, get their name and don't forget it. Well, before we get started, let me let you know what my job is, and that's to help you find the right vehicle, give you a good presentation demonstration, and when we get back, my manager is going to help us finalize the process. Fair enough? Well, great. Now, with that in mind, what type of vehicle are you here to drive today? A car, truck, or an SUV? That's not what they were expecting to hear from a salesperson. So you do that, their defenses come down. Now we get an opportunity to get them to like us. So if their defenses come down, now we can effectively start building rapport and investigating because they like us. And because they like us, they will answer us truthfully about what they're going to use the vehicle for. Who's the primary driver? Everything we need to know to help them buy the car, right? And if we do that, that's when we can come over here and do a presentation, a feature advantage benefit presentation on their wants and needs, not our wants and needs. What's important to them. I mean, they're buying this car for their 16-year-old daughter. It's in high school, and we don't know about all that. And the first thing we want to talk to them about is torque and horsepower. That's not important to them. We end up losing that sale and we can't figure it out. Stupid customers. Man. And then we find out they went down the street and they bought a gas-saving four-door sedan. And that's because we didn't ask them who the car was going to be for. We didn't investigate. What was important to them? Yeah, safety. We should have been talking to them about safety and dependability. Putting their young daughter in there, their precious cargo in that car. And making sure they're protected, make sure they understand it. But no, we're seasoned. We know we don't need to do that. We went right to the car, gave them a feature, or gave them a product presentation and lost the deal. So now we're doing a feature, advantage, and benefit presentation. We got their head on the hinge. They're agreeing that the ABS is important. They're agreeing that those 8 airbags are going to protect their daughter. They're agreeing that the gas mileage is going to be great. She can drive past those gas stations on a regular basis, especially in the evening when she's heading home from school and it's dark. We do all that stuff. They drive it. They tell us everything they like about it. We do an assumptive sold line close when we come back, pull into the dealership, ask them how they're going to register this in both names, or are they going to add their daughter to it? Who cares what their answer is? If they said either one of them, they're done. We're coming inside. Now here's what I want you to picture. You've just spent a good hour to an hour and a half on the lot and with that customer on the car, truck, or SUV. And if we've done everything right and they like us, and we get to the end here, and we come inside and we sit down, who are we sitting down with now? You're absolutely right. A friend. They like us now. And I always, as a sales manager, love to hear that closing giggle from the customer and the salesperson. When they're laughing, I see dollar signs. So that's what we have to do. And you know what? If they like you, guess what? They're sending people to you and they're coming back to see you for their next purchase, next purchase, next purchase. So don't skip these steps. Don't be that seasoned salesperson that thinks all they got to do is say, hi, how can I help you? Do a presentation on something. They don't know anything that has nothing to do with what the customer wants. and loses a customer and then blames it on them. Be that dedicated, disciplined salesperson that follows that process because the customers need us to follow it. And if we do it, it works. If you greet them the right way, you'll be able to build rapport the right way. Then you'll be able to investigate the right way. Then you'll be able to do a presentation and a demonstration the right way. When you come inside, it's just a matter of figuring out the numbers. They want that vehicle. They're not coming in to see the numbers. They're coming in to buy the car. Right? And isn't that what we really want? Them to come in and buy the car, not just look at it. Okay, guys, I hope this made a little bit of sense. I know it doesn't look like much on here, but it makes perfect sense if you think about it. Practice it. Practice that greeting. Practice building rapport. Practice asking investigative questions. Find out what their dominant buying motives are, their hot buttons. Practice giving presentations based on their wants and needs. Practice demoing. When you come inside, the closing is the easy part now. They want to buy the car. They want to buy it from you. It's just a matter of getting them to sign in the right place. So remember, the sky's the limit. I'll see you next week.